Is she awake? No. Is she breathing?
No!
Anything can happen, even if you're being vigilant.
Just in a split second, he darted across the street.
He had put his hands on either side of the window.
We thought she was inside.
He'd driven home, left the baby in the car, forgot the baby was in the car.
Within like a 3-minute gap, my son went out the door.
I screamed and I ran to the street.
I feel so guilty that I didn't look there first.
Until you go through it, you don't realize the danger of it.
I was a parent that said, there's no way that could ever happen to me.
It's the most excruciating thing you could ever imagine as a parent.
Nobody is going to place more judgment and guilt on themselves than April.
If we can prevent even just one accident from happening and the family having to feel the pain that we feel every day, we feel like it's worth our time.
And it's worth our time. Thanks for staying with us for this KSL special report.
Every summer in Utah, tragedy strikes. Families face unthinkable situations, and we offer tips for prevention.
But over the years, we've also heard from many parents who know firsthand how fast accidents can happen, even under the most watchful eyes, and their advice may be the most valuable of all.
Tonight, we want to share their life-saving lessons that they've learned.
You never want to imagine. It's probably the worst thing that can ever happen.
3 children drown every day in the U.S., and summer months are especially dangerous.
Be aware of them, because you never know. One day, you might just be in the same situation where you can't hold them every day.
The Fisher family found out the hard way that any amount of water can be dangerous to small children. Their 1-year-old son Miles got out of the house during dinner last year and somehow toppled face first into a small bucket of water his siblings had been using to fill water guns. He was found within 4 minutes and survived, but his family will be forever changed.
Know that anything can happen, even if you're being vigilant and being watchful and preventative. It can still happen, and so if it does, be prepared.
30% of child drownings in Utah happen in pools. In addition to teaching children how to swim and keeping a close eye on kids around the water, there are other things we can do to try and prevent a drowning tragedy. Know where the water is. It could be a neighbor's pool or pond that entices a toddler. At a party near a private pool where it can be easy to think someone else is watching, designate a pool supervisor and give them something like a lanyard or wristband to remind them it's their time to keep an eye on the water. And make asking to swim a habit. Establish a rule so that before ever getting near water, your child needs to ask for permission.
When the weather's warm, windows open, and that creates another opportunity for tragic accidents in our homes. Window falls lead to thousands of injuries and even deaths every summer. In just the last 3 weeks, we've reported on 3. The latest left 6-year-old Nicholas Ongren in the ICU at Primary Children's Hospital. His parents had sent him up to his room to change when he somehow leaned against the window screen and fell 15 feet to the patio below.
And it was the worst thing any mom or parent could ever go through.
Holly and Steve Ongren say, looking back now, there was one thing they wish they'd done to the windows in their new home.
Take a look at your home and really think about potentials, you know.
Take 2 seconds, like I said, just a screw or something, just right down in the bottom of the window, about 4 inches back, then you can't open the window more than 4 inches. You can get your fresh air into the room and you don't have to worry about a child falling out.
Window locks can also help prevent falls. Experts also recommend keeping furniture or anything a child can climb away from the windows.
It can happen to anybody.
Still ahead, keeping kids safe around cars this summer. 2 families who've lived through tragedy share their advice to others.
Cars can be dangerous for kids in the summer, both inside and out.
In warm weather months, every 7 days, a Utah child is run over in a driveway or a parking lot. All accidents that can turn family summer fun into a nightmare.
We had a rule in our cul-de-sac that if somebody was driving, the kids had to touch the grass. And so all of our kids knew it, and they were really good about following that rule. And so I told them, I'm leaving, you guys touch the grass. And so all of them, 2 included, got to the grass, and I backed out and turned.
But 2-year-old Tui Harding hadn't stayed on the grass that night in March 2015 when his mom went to leave home.
He darted across the street in his big old car. And And so I remember feeling like the impact, and I stopped.
He didn't survive the impact.
It's the most excruciating thing you could ever imagine as a parent.
In 2014, 2-year-old Natalie died when her dad backed over her in the driveway. Chad and Jen Peterson thought they had taken precautions to prevent something like this. They watched Natalie go inside, checked the garage, and had technology on their side.
It had backup sensors, it had backup cameras, and Natalie had just found the perfect spot that was underneath the sensors and out of the camera's view.
They know now that just a few more steps could have saved Natalie's life.
Had we taken an additional just 10 seconds to walk around the back of a vehicle, it would have made a world of difference.
It's not where you think your kids are, it's where you know they are. And that's exactly what we should have done. We thought she was inside. We didn't know where she was.
Every time we hear these accidents happen, it's heartbreaking. Backover tragedies are preventable, but as they said, it does take extra time. Always take a few seconds to just walk around your vehicle, check the driveway, see what's behind you before you pull out. Utah's Spot the Tot program makes special stickers for your car's window as a reminder. Also, roll down your windows and listen. You may hear a child that you didn't even know was there. And eliminate your distractions. As with so many of these accidents, if you turn down the radio, put down your phone, just stop your conversations for a minute so that all of your attention is focused on your vehicle and what's around it. Putting away those distractions can make the difference. Now, mere minutes inside a car on a summer day can also be deadly for children. Across the country, 42 children died last year after being left inside a hot car.
It's an accident that can happen when a parent simply forgets or when a child gets into an unlocked car on their own. 1-year-old Skaya died in Hurricane in 2014. Amid a change in their usual routine, Skaya's mom thought she was safely asleep in her crib when she was actually still in the car.
Nobody is going to place more judgment and guilt on themselves than April. And just talking to her, you can tell she's just tore with guilt.
Until you go through it, you don't realize the danger of it.
Dixie Smith's 2 daughters, her 2 nieces, and a neighbor's child were playing hide and seek back in 1998 when they got into Smith's car and accidentally got locked in the trunk. All 5 died of heat stroke.
It is so heartbreaking and so heart-wrenching and so very preventable.
There are things you can do that can help you remember that a child is in the back seat. Put something you need in the back seat by them, your purse, your phone, so that you have to get it when you get out of the car and so you go into the back seat. Or you could put a child's item with your things in the front seat, and that will give you a visual reminder that there is a child still in the car.
Technology can also be part of prevention. Some newer cars will sound an alarm if a rear door is open before starting the car, but not opened again until after the car is turned off. And there are new car seats that alert the driver that a child is in the rear seat when the keys are removed.
It makes you feel like you're a horrible mother.
Next, a final message for everyone to consider when you hear the news that an accident has happened, and where you can find even more ideas to help prevent summer tragedies. Thank you for being with us tonight. There are so many ways we can all work to prevent tragic deaths this summer, and we put dozens of ideas and resources on KSLTV.com.
And we leave you tonight with another good reminder, not for safety, but for compassion.
We're all human. We make mistakes. I think for most, the very vast majority of parents, you would never do anything to harm your child on purpose, ever.
I know some people say there's no excuse, but it's hard to put that judgment on someone else when we don't know, what else she was going through.
It's a good reminder, too, at the same time, that how careful you have to be.
What's your name? Tilly?